Ladies and gentlemen, friends, good morning. I'd like to start off by saying it's an unprecedented honor to be given one of the last sessions of a 4-day conference, because that can only mean one thing: they've saved the best for last. And only one topic, I think, can survive that challenge of being put on the very last day, and that is the future of SAP, and how we together, friends, partners, customers, will build this exciting future and overcome those quite interesting challenges that Tobias from SUSE and me, Joachim from Dell, are experiencing literally every single day. And today, in this very session, Tobias and I will address some of those challenges and talk about how we together are approaching some of the most exciting changes in the world of SAP. That fine, Tobias? Excellent. So, challenges in SAP world. I've been working with SAP for 28 years, and I dare to say that the things we're going through right now is probably some of the most exciting shifts that we're seeing in the commercial structure of SAP. I'm not just talking about the move to S/4HANA, which obviously is a big thing for many of our customers. But I'm also talking about the fact that SAP is completely changing their commercial model. We all see it every single day, customers starting to introduce RISE or not choosing to introduce RISE as a way to consume SAP. Customers are looking at introducing AI. We've heard about it all week. Is all good? Excellent. I thought you wanted to sing with me. People looking at freeing up budget to be able to do these changes, whether it is introducing new edge integration cell functionality, introducing RISE or introducing AI, and last but not least, a lot of customers are hesitating. How will we go about the new model of SAP and the new model of consuming SAP? Should we go to public cloud? Should we stay on-premise? Should we use a hybrid cloud model? In this session, you're going to hear how we are helping our customers to overcome these challenges. We have decided to discuss 4 topics with you this morning. Number 1 is obviously, how do we address RISE? As we all know, for the past 30 years and more to it, SAP had us buy licenses, perpetual licenses, and run them wherever we wanted. On-premise, public clouds, co-locations, service providers. With RISE and Grow, SAP is changing that model. Today, SAP want a bigger part of the cake by offering their software in a bundle, either called RISE on public cloud, or Grow on public cloud, or RISE either on public cloud or in their own data center and co-location. It's a natural move. We're going to start off talking a little bit about how we help customers overcome those challenges. Then we're going to generative AI and look at how we can build a solid future where we integrate SAP's embedded AI into extended AI scenarios. We're going to talk a little bit about automation and innovation, how customers are modernizing the way they run and operate SAP with the help of SUSE and Dell technologies. And last but not least, in order to do any of these initiatives, we need to address the cost factors. We need to free up fundings to be able to do all these other nice stuff. And today we're going to reveal some of the secrets and some of the great solutions that we have developed together, SUSE, Dell Technologies and SAP, to address that topic. But let's start with RISE. I already mentioned that the underlying reason why SAP introduced RISE is obviously to gain a bigger share of customers' wallets. As a matter of fact, SAP's total addressable market will go from roughly $300 billion to $760 billion by just introducing a new as-a-service model. Those are the reasons why SAP introduced Grow and RISE as new consumption models for SAP. But the fact is, when the user groups of SAP, both in Europe in Americas and in APJ researched the appetite for an as-a-service model for RISE, it is apparent that a majority of clients want to stay on-premise or in co-locations. And the interesting thing, and we've heard it throughout the week, I've heard it from some of my partners, some of my colleagues, some of the competitors, is a combination of high cost, complexity, and the compliance and regulations and sovereignty issues that we have with the world's most mission-critical business application, SAP. So there are a number of reasons why so many SAP customers today prefer to stay on-premise. But as we all know, SAP has not really talked much about the options of running RISE on-premise. One of the reasons why we're here today is obviously to share that message with you as partners and colleagues, because this is something that a lot of customers want from SUSE and from Dell. And today we have that option. Today we can allow customers to run RISE on-premise or in co-locations with the RISE Private Edition Customer Data Center option. The beauty of this model is that all the innovation, all the functionality around AI, Signavio, BTP, Business Data Cloud, around new innovation at the edge is included in the package. And the default standard platform for all RISE CDC workloads is SUSE, and it is Dell Technologies alongside with two other companies. As you can see, already in the first keynote of this event, we heard of the importance of choice. And that's exactly what we are trying to offer to the SAP audience today. We offer them choice to decide whether they'd like to continue to consume SAP as a product, upgrade to S/4HANA, hopefully before 2027 when the standard maintenance goes out, and continue to run on the premise of choice for these customers. That choice is still there, even though SAP will do everything they can to move you away from that. But on the journey towards SAP as a service, Dell Technologies and SUSE offers you all the options. Whether you'd like to consume it as a cloud operating model, but continue to buy perpetual license, or if you prefer to go all the way to a RISE consumption model where you will have a single contract only with SAP themselves, and they will bundle the automation and operating systems from SUSE and the underlying hardware technology from Dell Technologies, and deliver services on top so that you consume your SAP environment as if it was sitting in any type of cloud. The same functionality, the same source code, and the very same package as if you would run SAP RISE with a hyperscaler. But now you run it on-premise, in a co-location, or in whichever data center you and your business wants. Dell Technologies and SAP have created RISE Private Edition Customer Data Center option to allow customers in all industries to consume RISE on any premise. We use our Apex consumption platform, which is literally our private cloud. It allows you to pay for only what you use. It allows you to remove your responsibility for managing and operating the SAP platforms, and allows you to consume SAP as a service just as if it was residing on any of the current hyperscalers. But the difference is, of course, that you still maintain control of your application. You will have lower latency due to the nearness to your edge and AI workloads. You will have standardization and commonality, but above all, you will have choice. The interesting thing is, the choice of where you run your SAP RISE workloads will also have a big impact on how you can introduce AI workloads. During this week, I've been enjoying many sessions talking about how we can modernize with AI and introduce new AI workloads in our existing business data processes. Now, the interesting thing is, in almost every case, it involves complexity, because we need new type of infrastructure. We need GPU-based or NVIDIA-based servers and storage and even laptops to be able to execute those large language models and start to train and develop new AI business scenarios. What we have done together with SUSE is to try to overcome that complexity by building what in the Dell world is called the Dell AI Factory. This is nothing else than an accelerator to help you introduce AI in an SAP world, but not just looking at the SAP systems per se or in isolation, but really introduce your entire application stack. Whether you run CRM from Salesforce.com, whether you run other financial systems from Oracle or Microsoft, or if you run a large and complex SAP landscape, with Dell AI Factory, you can now build in much faster, much safer, and much more cost-effective way a new AI platform that will cover for all these workloads. Now, of course, SAP will continue to push for some of their AI workloads in the cloud, and that's okay. We need to integrate into that as well, and that is exactly what the Dell AI Factory does. So, what is it? Dell AI Factory is an accelerator. It is a way to get to AI faster, simpler, and with choice. And we do it by combining what is so unique with Dell, namely the fact that we have all needed components in-house. We have laptops, we have storage, we have server, we have network, we have data protection, and we have a partner called SUSE. You don't need any more than that. So let me go through quickly what the Dell AI Factory is before we enter into the more meaty stuff here. The overview is that it is a reference architecture. It is a way to speed up the introduction of new AI workloads that requires new technology. If we begin on the most important side, yes, of course it needs first to have your targets, or shall we say our customers' goal in mind. So use case, use case, use case. We heard it from the very first day here at SUSECon from the keynote speaker that AI is worth nothing unless we have an idea what to use it for. So yes, it begins with use cases, and the other pillar that is needed for the AI factory to work is, of course, the data. Now, I would like to challenge my friends at SAP a little bit by saying, in the real world, not all AI data will come from SAP, even though they might think that that is the case. But the reality is that in your scenarios, there will be many systems providing source to AI business processes, and therefore we need a platform that is flexible enough to cope with all these different data sources. Dell Technologies have that. We're unique in our way to combine client devices, compute, storage, data protection, networking, and software into a single bundle, a package that helps you and your customers to introduce AI faster with lower risk and at lower cost. On top of the infrastructure comes the perhaps most important point when we're talking about choice, namely the open ecosystem that we've integrated into the Dell AI Factory. And I'd even like to drill down on this, because to me that is the most important factor to make this a compelling story. This is also where SUSE and other partners come into play. Look at this slide. It only highlights a few of the key partners with whom we are working in delivering the Dell AI Factory today. And those of you who are SAP experts, and I know quite a few of you in this room are, I'd like to, even though I see that your green color really caused me challenges, folks. Our colors are blue, and my SUSE friends forced me to change the slides into green. I love green. But in this case, I'm sorry that it comes across a little bit weak. But here, you see that we have a founding partner in Databricks. Why do I care about that? Because SAP's Business Data Cloud is built on Databricks today, and it helps me to integrate between Business Data Cloud, which SAP positions as a key component in their data management strategy, and our Dell AI Factory. So as you can see, all the way from SI partners to co-location providers, and of course on the technology side, a lot of relevant, interesting companies that helps me build the Dell AI Factory into what it is today. A unique way to accelerate AI implementations in SAP contexts. And we even have a natural link into Business Data Cloud. So now I have my ecosystem, I have my infrastructure. On top of this, we put joint services that help customers to accelerate the introduction of a Dell AI platform or Dell AI Factory. So as you can see, the uniqueness of Dell Technologies with roughly 100,000 colleagues and service people is that we can deliver this end to end with simplicity and acceleration built in. Now, AI is not everything. SAP customers are perhaps even more worried about how to address the complexity of their current landscapes, how to build a hybrid or multi-cloud model, and how to address these new scenarios of SAP multi-cloud rise and grow. Tobias, I think this is the time when you should talk a little bit about how we work together with, for example, Rancher and Edge Integration Cell to help customers enable these new strategies. So please, go on here.
Thanks, Joachim, for the great insights. I want to talk today a little bit about our new offerings around SAP's hybrid cloud. So first of all, what is hybrid cloud? So in the next few years, SAP is set to sunset some of its existing products like SAP PIPO, then SAP Mobile Manufacturing Intelligence, and also SAP Llama. And as there is a need by many customers to have special requirements on technology, data privacy, and also legal requirements, there has to be also some kind of on-premise extension for the following cloud products from SAP. So all these products will move to the cloud, BTP, and customers with those requirements will need extensions which are running on premises. And Edge Integration Cell is one of the first of those provided cloud suites with on-premise extensions, and more SAP hybrid offerings will follow. So talking about Edge Integration Cell, so Edge Integration, SAP Process Integration, Process Orchestration is set to sunset by 2027. And customers can use SAP Integration Suite that's running in BTP as a follow-up as that. And the extension that runs on premises is the Edge Integration Cell. This is running on Kubernetes. And of course, SUSE provides a Kubernetes stack, Rancher Prime with SLE Micro. We already heard about that in the last days. And SUSE actually was the first validated on-premises platform offering Edge Integration Cell running on premises. And we're very glad of that, because we have a very long-standing relationship also with SAP, and also in the past we had several firsts that we ran. For example, high availability and other things, we were the first to have that, and here again, SUSE was the #1 to provide the new platform for Edge Integration Cell. That's why we already have also best practices documented, so it makes it very easy for customers to install Edge Integration Cell on Rancher. And also new features like confidential computing for secure integration can be used. As a result of these first and also the best practices we prepared, we decided also to introduce a new SKU range, SUSE Rancher for SAP application. And the benefits here is it includes everything you need to run SUSE, the SAP Edge Integration Cell in one package. It offers also integrated support, which means that you get the same level of quality for support that you had also with other applications like SLES for SAP. And in the future, it's future ready because SAP also will make it possible to run HANA, replacing Redis and Postgres in the future. And that's why we also included a SLES for SAP subscription that you can run the HANA side by side with this Kubernetes cluster. And of course, we also provide up-to-date best practice guides always. On our roadmap, we have a more automated install Then also providing security and configuration via SUSE Security, then monitoring and alerting functions via SUSE Observability. I think we saw already some of the benefits of those two tools in the last keynote yesterday or the day before. And of course also automated installs and configuration is on our roadmap, and also offering SUSE virtualization, VM templates and configuration best practices for SUSE virtualization. So basically customers will have choice of installation. So if the customer wants to be fast and wants to get a fast and easy start with SAP Hybrid, then they will most likely choose the virtualization, the virtualized way of installing, which means you use existing virtualization platforms and also hardware. And the second deployment option would be bare metal. That means you can leverage SUSE virtualization to modernize your complete stack, including virtualization. So this would be the option when you're also thinking about modernizing and moving away from VMware in the future. Then it is also the optimal starting point for your SAP Hybrid and Cloud Native journey, because that means you can also install on this bare metal deployment option also other products that might be coming out from SAP in the near future, and also use it for other use cases like possibly AI and others. And as said, this is the best option to replace existing virtualization solutions with a future-ready solution. And Dell would be one of the best choices for that. That's why we're also working very closely together with Dell and working on virtualization together, and also the edge or the hybrid scenarios with SAP. And with that, back to Joachim.
Thank you, Tobias. And just to put this into context, the reason why this is so important for our SAP customers is obviously in every discussion we have around going to RISE, going to a new consumption model, going to a cloud operating model, the hybrid scenarios is the first thing customers worry about. What do I do about BTP? How can I solve these solutions that SAP is forcing me to do in public cloud today, and I don't want to push my data to the public cloud? I'm not allowed to, I cannot. It's due to performance or latency, it's due to compliance or sovereignty, and all of these reasons makes the edge integration cell from SUSE such an important component. And the fact that more and more workloads are managed by Kubernetes and therefore a good, well suited for Rancher, we see Rancher becoming more and more of that standardized engine that we want it to be for containerized environments. And obviously SAP still has some work to do on some of their workloads. We know that, right? But I see the future together with you here at SUSE bright, and we should be able to extend the workloads that can be containerized and therefore also managed by this platform. But it's a beautiful way to start and a very natural fit into the two topics we've been discussing so far. The introduction of new cloud operating models, going to RISE or GROW, and number two, how to embed AI scenarios into these new hybrid environments. But that said, it's not enough. Every single customer is of course worried about how they can free up money, free up funding to go through these new projects. And one of the best ways to get there is by introducing standardization, commonality, and choice in their existing SAP data center and how they work and operate SAP systems. We at SUSE and Dell have unique tools in place to enable exactly this. We're talking about automation of management of SAP landscape, replication, cloning, backup and protection, performance tuning, monitoring of server storage, network, and compute environments in new and innovative ways. We're talking about multi-cloud, being able to do this orchestration and management across private and public cloud. And Dell Technologies has these capabilities today. We've done numerous studies lately to show our clients what results we are actually delivering. And I know this is a little bit dry to show tons of numbers. And obviously they're only relevant if they fit to your scenarios. But what it shows is that there is infrastructure costs to be saved by running SAP workloads in a hybrid multi-cloud way. The perception that public cloud is cheaper than private cloud is since long gone. That is no longer true. And it's a story that we together, as partners and friends, need to have our customers understand that it's not a cost question anymore, if it ever was. It is rather a business workload and suitability question. Where does your workload sit best? Choice, choice, choice. I can only repeat what we have learned this entire week. There are good proof points that we are significantly more efficient than even the hyperscalers when it comes to RISE. And this is interesting, because we can today deliver RISE workloads for many industries and customers in a more cost-effective way than should they go to an Azure AWS or GCP. We can also introduce automation, standardization tool across multiple systems and components. So we're not just talking about SAP, we're talking about an application landscape, some of which sits better in a co-location or on-premise than it does in the public cloud. And that's exactly what we try to address. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen and friends, we've been talking about 4 of the most pressing challenges that SAP customers are faced with today, and it boiled down to literally 5 areas of interest. We started to talk about the transition to S/4HANA, which, yes, is a driver to many customers today. I want to offer these customers, together with you, SUSE, and our partners, choice. Choice to run these new S/4HANA workloads where they are best suited to run, whether it's on-premise, co-location, or even in hyperscaler public cloud. Dell Apex is our cloud operating model. It allows customers to run SAP on-premise with perpetual license, but consume infrastructure and SUSE as a service. Pay for what you use. You don't have to hassle with the infrastructure. We can take care of that for you if you wish, or you can continue to run it with your own resources, should that be a better option. Then we spoke about RISE. And SAP again is introducing RISE and Grow as their way of gaining a bigger share of IT budgets, or IT wallets in essence. Grow being the public edition, only running in hyperscaler environments. RISE being the private edition, which can run both on-premise in co-locations with Dell technologies or in hyperscaler environments. We want to offer customers choice to decide where does these new RISE workloads sit best. And with RISE private edition, customer data center option, I know that's a mouthful and only a German marketing organization can come up with that name, but the PE-CDC is a great way for customers to go RISE, enjoy the new functionality, including AI, including BTP, including Business Data Cloud, including AI, but be able to continue to run on-premise or in co-location. We then talked about Gen I. We have heard it all through the week. It's the topic that everyone has in mind. What Dell Technologies and SUSE is offering is the Dell AI Factory, a pre-built reference architecture that helps customers to accelerate the introduction of AI by building the whole end-to-end suite, from storage, compute, to network, to data protection, management into a solid platform, and run it as a factory which accelerates the introduction of new AI scenarios. Is it only for SAP? No, of course not. But thanks to the Databricks integration, thanks to the fact that we can also leverage the edge integration cell functionality, we do have connections into AI or from SAP as well. Tobias spoke a little bit about business process transformation, helping customers to introduce hybrid cloud scenarios. I personally think Edge Integration Cell is a great example of how we together can help customers to become hybrid and run SAP in new ways. And it is a way to help the modern multi-cloud story to come true. And we do this together, SUSE and Dell, and offering customers this also outside of RISE, of course, because it doesn't have to be RISE scenarios, but for RISE CDC, this is a perfect match and something that we will be positioning together with our system integrator partners to our SAP customers. Last but not least, we spoke a little bit about what it takes to get there. Automation. helping customers to speed up the way they replicate and provision new systems, how they monitor performance of SAP landscapes, whether they are public cloud, private cloud, or somewhere in between. How to help customers to standardize and simplify their workloads by having commonality built in across the floor, whether it is file, whether it's block, whether it is enterprise applications, CRM, supply chain, or HR systems. We are unique at that with the breadth of the Dell SUSE portfolio and the way we can deliver services into these environments. That is a way to save money and improve the way they run SAP today. So exciting times in the world of SAP. Tons of change happening. Dell has gathered, together with SUSE, a lot of the best practices, our experience and reference in a number of channels for our partners, like many of you here today, and our customers to consume. We have our SAP landing page. We have an email to which you are more than welcome to ask your questions, give us comments. Our customers is using this for all type of experience sharing, reference sharing, and wanting to learn more. So SAP Assist, you're welcome to use. And of course, we have our SAP professional services that can help accelerate these projects. A lot of collaboration, I'd like to say, is done together with system integrator partners, such as Deloitte, Capgemini, TCS, NTT, and Wipro, and many others. But we also have our own services to help accelerate these journeys, whether it's Dell AI Factory, RISE, or perpetual S/4HANA license. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to an end of this last day's presentation. We thought we would give you a couple of minutes back to BSNI, and I think we've done a decent job in that. Always a great pleasure to be at the very end of an agenda of a long and very successful conference. So again, thank you so much for your time. Tobias and I will be here for a few extra minutes, should there be any additional questions. I know many of you are partners and friends, so feel free to ask questions and give comments. But again, thank you so much for your time today, and have a safe travel back to wherever your home is. Thank you.